The last few years, we just sponsor people, we don't have the funding to pay them. So now I'm gonna ask somebody to give up 6 months of their life and 240 hours of training or more, 270 hours with everything, for $0. There's not a lot of people interested in doing it. So trying to recruit people to the part-time or call department to come up to full-time is challenging. All right, so those are the two challenges that I meet from full-time and part-time. So thinking about this, I'm trying to figure out, I apologize. I'm trying to figure out different ways, and I can't shut that off, I apologize. I'm on mute, but I'm trying to figure out different ways to come up with solutions on how to do this, and I have. Some are short-term, some are long-term, some may work, some may not work, but right now, drastic times, take drastic measures, and I'm looking at all possibilities. So, the reason why I'm here is I have a few ideas, and I gave you an outline that I originally gave you. So EMTs I would still have to hire or work out something with sending EMTs to Firefighter 1-2 school for the call volunteer program. I'm still getting applicants to go through. Last time I did it, I sponsored 6, and by the time I was done, I had 3. So it is getting slim, and it's getting to a point where even if I get them through the academy, they're going to another department that's paying more. So it's extremely tough to do that. So that was, obviously I'm going to have to keep doing that. I thought about a paramedic-only position, which we've never had in Halifax traditionally. Most departments around here don't even run the way we run. It's either full-time and call, but we use part-time people that actually work shifts. There's not many towns around here that do it. I think Lakeville does it, and there may be one other town around down the Cape that does it, and I can't think of anybody else that does it at this time. So we're in a boat by ourselves here trying to come up with some different ideas. So a paramedic-only position is helpful short-term, meaning they're not certified firefighter 1-2 operators, so they can't go in a building for a fire, they can't run a pump, they can't put an SCBA on. The only function that they would have would be to drive the ambulance, work in the back of the ambulance, and then obviously come back and then do the chores around the station, all that kind of stuff. The problem that I have with that, running a 3-man crew, is now I'm only limited to 2 firefighters working that day. So I would have to run 3 firefighters, particularly the captain as a paramedic, 2 firefighters, and then the paramedic only. Without that, I wouldn't be able to respond an engine to a mutual aid call or anything like that because we wouldn't have the staffing. So it would be a little bit short-handed. So that would be the downside to having the paramedic-only position. Now, that being said, in order to do that, we don't currently have a paramedic-only position in wage and personnel. Right. That's why I would have to create a position, okay? And the pay scale currently right now is $26 an hour for paramedics. I would have to raise that. I would request to raise that to up to $30 with the chief's discretion. So if they have a lot of experience, I can give them the $30 as needed to try to get somebody in the door. I do have, other paperwork to show you that, Carver runs a separate EMS service from their fire department. Their paramedics make anywhere between $29 and $35 an hour. Plimpton, their paramedics right now are anywhere in the 30s, 32, 34, 36, depending on experience. So it's extremely difficult even to get medics right now, even at $30. But I think I've got to take a chance at something. I can't go any higher because obviously then it becomes an issue with the contract for the union members because it would almost put them over the base pay of a actual firefighter paramedic. So hiring a paramedic only full-time and then send them to the fire academy. That's my other option. Okay, typically we've never done that. There are some costs involved in doing so. It doesn't cost us to send anybody to the academy. The academy is free, but while they're in the academy, I would hire them. Their first assignment would be at the academy for 10 weeks. I would have to pay them while they're at the academy, and I would also have to fill their shift at time and a half. So there is a cost involved in that, but the benefit for that is I get somebody into the academy, I get them back in 10 weeks and they're on shift on the 11th week.
Is there any way, Chief, to, not a retainer, but I mean, what's to prevent them from getting that and then bouncing
part of that plan is to do 2 things. and this is something I have to run by the attorneys to make sure it's legal and everything else, but I'd like to, and a lot of departments do, so I know it can be done, is to sign a contract. So a 2-year contract, if, you leave within the 2-year contract, you pay X amount of dollars back.
to us.
We can't do wages, that's illegal, but we can also do uniforms, gear, any other expenses that we spent on them to make the $10,000 is pretty easy. It's a gentleman's agreement, I understand that, you know what I mean, but
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, what's the
the
what's the
repercussions,
hammer on getting it back?
the town could go after somebody for those, for that funding. I have seen it done. You know what I mean? That'd be up to town council.
If you're looking to recruit people, it's very difficult if you have a clause like that. And if you actually go out and sue them for that money, to get the money back, that'll filter throughout the whole industry.
Sure.
So
Black money.
so how many will come after that saying, well, I might have to leave and, I'm gonna have to pay $10,000, so.
Well, I think
But it's
the
worth
other
looking
side of it
into.
is, if they do go after somebody that does it, the next person coming in is gonna be committed for the 2 years.
Yeah,
So
yeah, hope.
it has pros and cons both
Yeah.
ways. You know what I mean? The other thing I thought about was sign-on bonuses. You know what I mean? Sign-on bonuses, I know they're only short-term, but somebody looking to, maybe jump ship, it's comparing apples to apples. This one has a sign-on bonus, this one doesn't. Whether it be $5,000 sign-on bonus, if they go to the academy, they get 25 when they graduate, and then 25 after, their probationary period, which is 1 year. So technically, that would put it into 2 fiscal years. Might be a little beneficial for myself and the town. I think no matter what we do and how we look at everything, it's not an easy solution to any of this. Nothing is a quick fix. I think it's going to take a little bit of all of these things that I'm talking about to make this work. I do have a couple applications out there right now that I'm looking at, and I got interviews set up for Wednesday. No guarantees that, if they'll accept the job. I did do one today, but again, the last 2 that I hired, within 24 hours, they went to another department. So the issue that we're going to run into is I have pushed 2 of the call EMTs to a full-time position as of right now. And the problem that I'm going to have with that is if we do too many EMTs on there, we're going to be lacking a lot of paramedics. What's happening right now is we're having a shift that has 1 paramedic on it. That's my captain. So now my captain and the next person, they go off on a call. The person that's in charge back here, if it's a weekend or something like that, could be the person that I just hired 3 weeks ago that's running in the car and running the entire town. We do recalls. Every time the ambulance goes out, we do a recall. Unfortunately for our recalls, we're under 12% on a recall right now, which creates us going mutual aid. So once we go mutual aid, we have a mutual aid ambulance come in here. All the towns around have mutual aid agreements. They go to us, we go to them. The problem that I see with that in the future is it's not sustainable for us because we're also losing funding. Every time that ambulance goes out with another community, we're losing $2,600. So last year alone, we had 90 mutual aid runs, which equates to about $234,000 billable. I can't say we're going to collect $234,000. You have people that aren't going to pay the bill, you have Medicare, Medicaid that have different rates, things like that. But even if we collected half of that, there could be money for funding one of our members. So I think that by having the current situation right now that we have with 3 members on there, as soon as one ambulance transports, you got to remember they're gone for probably 2 hours, right? By the time you get to someone's house, evaluate, make the decision to transport, go to the hospital. If you have to get medications, sometimes you're at the hospital 45 minutes waiting for a bed because it's so busy. So it could be 2 hours back. Meantime, there's only 1 member here. So with 4 members, which I'd like to get to in the future, 4 members, now I can staff the second ambulance. And I can also staff a fire truck. So if a fire comes in, a medical comes in, anything comes in, we still have people to run here right now. During the day, I'm here, I'm out the door running every day. Weekends, you know what I mean? I'm either responding from home, we're getting mutual aid, from another town. And I think the problem that we're having is, even with the shifts, with the shortage of medics right now, someone takes a vacation day, we're trying to fill, and we're still stuck with 1 medic working, 2 EMTs, and then it's the same situation we're running into. So definitely is an issue. I think all of the towns are trying to come up with inventive ideas
Right.
on how to do this. So for tonight, obviously, I'd like to request that the board create a position, if possible, for the paramedic only, and, discuss the rate, maybe bringing the rate up. That would give me a quick solution on maybe trying to hire part-time paramedics to work on the ambulance until we can kind of find more paramedic firefighters to fill in as of right now. Now, this is something I can use in the future too. If the part-time paramedics work out, I keep them on. It's a little bit of a lower rate, and I can still run. I can run 4 people.
I hear you, because unfortunately, I think the phenomenon of losing folks here in Halifax is not just to fire, right? I'm sure Ted would tell us it's hard to be competitive in all the departments. I do think it's going to take some creativity to try to figure this out, because in addition to your issue, we're also facing a tough financial year coming up. So my one fear is that we agree to dedicate and allocate extra funds, but then get into a point next year where we're really, really strapped. So I would be okay with creating a position, but I just want to make sure that we're not overcommitting to something that in 6 months from now we go, we don't have it in the kitty, So I don't want to compromise safety. I don't want to compromise the quality of your department. You're in a good department, but I'm just concerned that we make a commitment now that we might not be able to see through at the other side, if that makes sense.
It does, but right now I'm not asking for additional funding. If you
Yeah.
create the position of, and you increase the rate for paramedics, I'll absorb as much as I can in my budget. And
Okay.
when the time comes that I'm out of money, then I'm out of money.
So
But
be it.
just want you to be aware that
Yeah, we
there are
want it to be
times that
safe, right.
when someone calls and says, I've waited, 30 minutes for an
Right.
ambulance, or
We don't want
when
that.
my patient, my mother is not breathing, or things like that.
Right.
We've come up with some creative ideas, and I fully understand that there's only so much money in the piggy bank. I fully understand that, but,
Yeah.
when we're looking at, life safety stuff.
Yeah, no, safety
there's
is
considerations.
the utmost, so, yeah, I don't know, what's the board think?
Just a quick question, off topic, well, related, but off topic.
Yes.
Of the 10 full-time guys now, talk to me about the tenure of those guys. How long have those guys been in Halifax? Ballpark. Are we talking like all of them, like 5 years and above? How many new hires do we have?
New hires, we have quite a few. I think the majority of the people right now are probably maybe at 5 years. I think the only one that's longer than that is Kuzo. Kuzo will be there quite a while. He's probably been in there 10 or 12
So the
years.
majority of the last-
Yeah, majority are newer. I think the ones that, you gotta remember, we only have 8, so 4 of them are captains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, the senior captains are not going anywhere.
Right.
So out of that, we're looking at just a few that, the seniority isn't much right now.
I'm just, none of these ideas are bad, because no idea when you're trying to come up with a solution, no idea is a bad one. I'm just wondering, and I know you're just talking about letter B here, but if you start offering the academy and the sign-on bonuses and so forth, somebody who's been here for 2 years might say, hey, I had to pay my own way and I didn't get a sign-on bonus, and that might lead to some exits that you weren't anticipating from those that are looking elsewhere. I'm just trying to think of the downside to.
Yeah.
Well, the benefit for sending someone to the academy that's a paramedic, right now there's more availability to find someone that's a paramedic than find someone that's a paramedic firefighter. You know what I mean? I can send someone to the academy, I can get them the certification. Yes, there is a little bit of a cost to it, but to find somebody that's a firefighter paramedic, anybody that's already a firefighter paramedic, they're shopping. And it's extremely difficult to get somebody in, so.
The timing of this is funny, Chief, because I was actually at the barber shop today getting my son's haircut for the first day of school, and I bumped into a paramedic, and we got chatting. She works in another community, and I said, we have this on the agenda today for
Yeah.
a meeting, and she even brought up, she said, has Halifax ever considered going paramedic only as an option to try to help
Yeah.
with staffing? And
Yeah.
I said, no, but, we're going to be talking about it tonight. So-
Yeah, I think there's a lot of newer people just breaking into paramedicine that want to get into the fire service. And even if it's a stepping stone for 2 years for us, it's a benefit for us right now.
Yeah.
So to hire someone that's a paramedic and send them to the academy, and if I can get the 2 years out of them on the gentleman's agreement, you know what I mean, so to speak, it's a huge benefit. Whereas trying to find someone that's, you know, I've had a posting out for 11, 12 weeks now, and got 2 applications that are actually, you know, meeting the criteria, so.
All right, hey, Bob, I would have to ask you, how do we go about actually creating a position? Do you know how that, what's that
So you have a
process?
wage and personnel board?
We actually dissolve the wage and personnel.
Dissolve the wage- so it's a board.
We are wage and
Okay.
personnel.
So you develop you would give us some documents that, like, with the duties of these people. You know, and we would develop
A job
put together a
description.
job description.
Okay,
And I've done that in several towns, so we can do that.
Okay.
I mean, if that's the board's wish.
yeah. You guys be up for creating a paramedic-only position at Halifax Fire?
And to be clear, this would come out of the existing firefighter budget for the remainder of the fiscal
Well,
year.
we'd be creating the position.
Right, but any
Paramedic only, the difference would be $4 an hour. So even if it's at the, so the positions that I have to fill would be the 2 off shifts. It's like 96 shifts. Half of that, I'm looking at, for one person, it's about $4,608, so I have it here. And for 2 members, it's about $9,216 total for the year. Yes, it's an expense, but on the other side of that, if I don't have anybody to fill the shift, I'm filling the shift at time and a half.
Right.
So
Right.
it's cheaper doing it this way for me than it is the other way around.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion? Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Mike, you want to?
Michael Schleif, 60 Paradise Lane. Just on what he's been talking about, the tightness of the fire department and everything.
Yeah.
We got a big development going on uptown. There's gonna be a ton of units. And
Yep.
right now, I know that the urgent care is draining on them also. And
Sure.
These are things that we didn't have a year ago.
Right.
And this one up here is probably gonna be another 2 years. You're gonna really get slammed again, so I know you understand what your budget is. Another year of no money.
Yeah.
But you gotta think something else out beyond that, because
Yeah, I don't think anyone's arguing either of those points as valid. I mean, the senior center and the condos and, you know, all that project, and then the urgent care certainly puts a burden on the fire department. And public safety is priority number 1 for police and fire. My only concern, I guess, would be it's fire today, and it's police next week, and then it's, you know, the school department, and it's not just gonna be fire. So I'm absolutely fine with option B and making that motion. I just want to, it should be known that this won't be the last request, and is,
Again, I mean, if he can, you know, if Chief's
So-
saying he's going to try to absorb as much as he can.
you're right, and that would be the key, to
So on
absorb
the
as
other
much
side
as
of
we can
this,
from within.
Yeah.
on the other side of this, I'm looking at options that I may not need to use.
Yeah.
If tomorrow I hire 2 paramedics, I'm back to level funded.
You're
Now,
okay.
I still need to look into the future because there's gonna be more people
Right.
leaving.
Yeah.
Since I've been here, I've had probably 12 people leave in the 3 years that I've been here.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've got to look at different solutions, and the problem with it is, you know, obviously coming to the board and requesting funding from the board and everything else, you know what I mean, it puts me even further behind, right? So if I'm proactive and I get things done right now, if I do need it, I can enact it, so to speak. If I can, you know, encumber a lot of this in my budget, and I get to a point where I can't, then I come back to you and say, look, you know, I'm gonna have to shut everything down, I'm gonna have to, you know, just run 1 ambulance, as long as you fully understand what's going on. There are other options. I understand what you're saying, that I'm not the only department in the town, but I think that being a 911 system and, you know, the emergency for us to have members on there, and when we offer an ALS service now, like Mr. Schlepp just said, you know, the walk-in clinic alone, between the walk-in clinic and the community center that's gonna go in, I guarantee that's gonna bring us up about 400 to 500 runs a year. I can predict it. We're already up 200 runs more than we were last year. So I can foresee that it's gonna be exponential compared to what it was last year. That walk-in clinic, we went there 3 times the other day. You know, and I've had discussions with the owners, it's nothing on them, they did do a fantastic job, but like, you know, and I happen to know them, I actually worked with them at Good Sam Hospital when I was doing my paramedic time there. Great people, great physicians, everything else. It's a great service, it's great to have in our community, but it is taxing on us. I mean, you think about who walks through that door. Allergic reaction, they're calling us. A shortness of breath, they're calling us. A chest pain, they're calling us. Just about everything. You know, someone doesn't feel good, they walk to the door, they put them on the monitor. You know, they're in a rapid AFib, they're in A flutter, they're in whatever. They're going out the door. So what are they doing? They're doing bandage, broken something, you know, broken foot, broken whatever, but everything else is going out.
Yeah. No, I agree. We need to make sure we give you the tools to do your job well and to keep us safe. So, but we also have to balance. Like you say, there's only so many coins in the fountain. So we have to make sure that we're not. I would feel awful, Chief, if we came up with a solution and then 6 months from now said, "Oh, hey, remember when we fixed everything? We're unfixing it." You know. So, but to your point, I don't think creating a position. We're not voting right now to fund that position. We're voting to create it right now. And if you can use your budget to absorb the majority of that position, I think that's an option.
The only thing I can tell you is I can until I can't.
Right. Right.
I can't predict when the 911's going to ring. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, can I absorb some of it for right now to take the burden off of what's going on? Yes, but like I said to you, you know, I might pay a little bit of money this way, but if I don't and there's nobody there, I'm paying time and a half at $60 an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm paying more than twice the money in the long run to you know what I mean? So it's even more of my budget that's gone.
Yeah. Mike, you had your hand up?
Yeah, one thing you might want to consider, it works for parks. We've got a parking attendant down there. It's, you know, like $17 an hour, and during the weekends now, the fire department is not be able to take care of their own calls. They're not being called down there. So that was a good investment in a low wage to head off calls to the fire department all the time. I don't know if, like, the farm, the horse show all the time. I know they get a lot of calls up there, and there's already somebody there on duty, and then the town still gets called in. So maybe there's another avenue to run that service if they need a call instead of draining it out of the fire department. Maybe there's other options to take off
some of the burden. Yeah.
Just some thought.
If you had the paramedic only and there's a fire, what would they do?
So paramedic only would be, to begin with, they could pull hose, things like that. They can't run a fire truck, they can't run a pump.
Can't go into a building.
So what they would do is accountability and then rehab. Like, I have a plan in place that kind of outlines what they would do and what's going on. I'm kind of mimicking another town that I spoke to the chief extensively in regards to what they do and how they do it. So.
Do you guys work 24 hours on?
24 on, 24 off, 24 on, 5 days off, except for the 2 swing positions. They work 1 on, 2 off, 1 on, 4 on.
What's the board want to do?
I mean, it's difficult to say no when public safety is
Absolutely.
at the helm.
I agree.
I'm a little nervous that it opens Pandora's box for future, asks from fire, and this is certainly a worthy one, so I'm okay with it. I just, 26 to 30, go low if you can.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I left it at, up through 30 with my discretion. I mean, if I get a 2-year paramedic that has really no experience, he hasn't worked that much or something like that, I'll keep him at 26. But if I have a medic that, has experience and he'd be beneficial for the community, that, I've got to pay him to keep him, So that's why I said, if you do it up to 30 with my discretion, then I can say, this person's worth putting up there. And obviously, from my point of view, I keep him at 26, I'm saving my budget. So.
And it's almost good that we have so many folks here to hear this, because a lot of times, people in the public will look at salaries and say, why are we paying these people this much money? We have to, as a town, be somewhat competitive, right? I mean, to your point, we've had so many positions just open because we can't attract people because we offer so low. So I hope folks understand that, we're not here looking to just give out money willy-nilly. We want to offer something that's competitive and fair, and not give the farm away, but at least give something that we will have somebody come and fill us.
I think I also understand that, budgetary-wise, for each person that I have out, I'm filling that shift for time and a half.
Right. It's more money.
So it's more money. I'm better off having a full-time member that's there.
Sure.
And each member that turns around, it's probably roughly $10,000 plus for the investment. So if I hire somebody and he's there for 4 months, I just wasted pretty much $10,000 and had to start all over again. So to retain these individuals in the department is beneficial because it's not cost effective for them to leave.
We have a question over here, Frank.
Frank Johnston, Elm Street. One, I like his idea of creating a position, but we're not funding it.
Correct.
So we're good there for this year.
Correct.
But going into next year, next fiscal year, which we're starting, we're gonna need to budget for that, chief, as you're well aware. And secondly, what's your overtime burn? How you doing on money in your overtime versus your straight time?
I'm doing okay for right now, but obviously near the end of the year, I think what hit me last year was a lot of the FMLA. I had three
Yeah,
members
that
out.
was last year though.
But yeah, so this year, right now, I'm fine with my budget right now. So can I absorb some of the cost of?
Well, that's the thing I'm getting at. You have the funding in your overtime,
Yep.
which is you call money in,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's mandatory that you pay
Use
time and a
that.
half, that we can use to pay straight time on a paramedic firefighter.
Yes.
Or a paramedic.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I do have the funding.
Okay, so we're not, technically, we're not funding it, but we are funding it through the overtime, which you already have approved budget on, so it's your discretion how you spend that money.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And so I would say that you should at least be in the Wage and Personnel Board and the Selectmen, that you can approve the position, but we gotta figure out what the rate would be to pay that. And we have to go back into our bylaws when we did that audit and revised everything and we had all the rates in there. We need to take a look at how that is, John.
Do you know, Frank, offhand, who the liaison is from FinCom for fire? Do you know?
It's me.
Oh. I was wondering how you knew so much about fire. So for those that don't know, Frank's a member of our finance committee. So yeah, to your point, you know,
Yeah, it's all
you guys
in
could
the new
sit.
bylaw
Yep.
that was approved last year.
Yep.
And there's rates in there, but we gotta look at the paramedic, because I don't think we had a rate. We may have had one in the bylaw.
The
I don't
the
think.
call
we-
department was never
No, I
updated
don't
within
think we
the new
do.
study.
Or was it?
No, it was
I
not.
thought we updated it.
The call.
No, we didn't, because it was
The call department was
union.
never updated.
Right, that's right, we didn't do, we excluded the unions. That's
So
right.
there is a position in there now for paramedic pay that I brought to the Wage and Personnel years back and got it to $26. So there is a position for firefighter paramedic, but not just strictly paramedic.
Yeah, so how you work that out, I'm not sure. We gotta, how the
Yeah.
bylaw states that we can make changes to the actual number that's existing within to get to 30 or whatever you're trying to get to, chief.
So could we do this, guys? Could I entertain a motion to create the position? We create it, and then maybe Frank and Chief, you guys kind of get together and work on, we don't have to set any sort of salary at this point or hourly. You know, you guys get together and come up with a job description, a salary, you know, hourly, whatever, however you want to work it, and then come back to us and we can go over it at another meeting and set it.
I just got a question,
Yeah.
Chief. Two questions. What's your average response time in-house, leaving,
It depends on what part of town, but average response time is probably 6-7 minutes.
and, okay, now, out-of-town mutual aid?
It all depends on where it's coming from. So Plimpton responds quite a bit to Halifax, but Plimpton also responds to Kingston and Carver quite a bit. So our first choice for this area here, we're all in sections, would be Plimpton. But if Plimpton's not available, we're getting either Bridgewater, Pembroke, Hanson, and if they're tied up, they may be on a call, go back to the station, get an ambulance, and then respond. So average response time is probably 20-25 minutes.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It's a long time. When you're
Yeah.
in need of medical
Need an
assistance,
emergency, right?
that's a long, long time.
It is, yes. I guess my only
Yeah.
question would be the hesitation to make it to the $30 at my discretion, right? So if you created the position of,
Yeah.
and you brought it, and you said you agreed to the $30 an hour, it's still under my budget, correct?
Correct.
So I'm not asking for any funding there. It would be my discretion to bring the person either 26, 27, 28, 29, or 30.
Okay. So
So it's
you're
still
asking
out of my budget, so I'm asking you to create a
A range.
position and say between $26 and $30 at my discretion.
Okay. I just didn't know if we needed to create steps, you know, how, you know, a lot of our positions here in town, they have steps that
Yep.
they go through.
Yep.
So I don't know, when we're creating this position, how detailed we have to be.
The call fire department was never updated the last time though, so I don't,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, sorry.
Okay.
I think it's based on experience, like you said.
Yep.
I'm okay with leaving it at the chief's discretion. I don't want to come off as antagonistic. The only thing I'd comment on what Frank kind of said, we're on track with the budget, which is great to hear. We're also 7 weeks in to the budget, so a lot can happen in the remaining 45. It's good to hear that we're on track, but it doesn't take much to upset the budget, I wouldn't think, especially when we're adding cost that you're trying to absorb within that one position. So I just kind of wanted to state that.
But keep in mind, now all of a sudden, if I hire 2 medics, 2 full-time paramedics,
Yeah.
I don't use that position as much.
Yeah.
Right, and it cuts down overtime. I
So,
understand it.
you
It's
know
just-
what I mean? I'm looking at something that's possibly short-term, you know what I mean? And if it works out, you know, that's when I come back next year, finance, and say, listen, I'd like to create this, it's working for us. You know, my ultimate goal is to get to 4 members, you know, each shift, and this is one way I can do it. So, you know what I mean? Although I know I'm asking for a lot, but what I'm asking for may not even be implemented all the time. It may be a short-term fix that I use for right now, so.
I don't think you're asking a lot.
No.
Because no one really cares until they need that ambulance.
No.
That's when they care.
It's true.
Bob, is this within our purview to do something on this tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
All right, anybody want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion. I don't know how to word it. I'll make a motion to approve the
Creation.
creation of a paramedic-only position, which is a new role, as outlined in the position details, ambulance-only coverage, compensation up to $30 per hour at Chief Witham's discretion, and the other requirements as maintained by the staffing department in Halifax. Same requirements, staffing requirements, safety, 3-person shifts as outlined in our agenda. Is that?
That's fine. That'll work.
That's a mess, but is that?
That'll work.
I make that motion.
So moved.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes. Thank you, Chief.
Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Don't
Chief.
leave, you're up next.
All right.
All right, so that was B, guys. You know what, I might jump around. We notice there's a pretty good crowd here tonight. Are you guys all for one particular item so we can get you out of here? Yeah. D? D. Like my grades. All right, here we go. All right, we're gonna skip down then to D, just so we can get folks home for supper. The recommendation from Traffic Study Committee for heavy commercial exclusion zone on Old Plymouth Street. The information here on this study, I'm trying to pull up here, so give me 1 second.
What was that? I didn't see that.
I didn't see it on my,
There wasn't anything.
It's not, I don't know if it's in here or not.
No, I didn't have anything.
Tom, were you on that?
Yeah, Chief
Okay.
Shabs was supposed to forward something. So Traffic Safety Committee, Chief was there as well. This has been a discussion over the last, 3-4 months. It's actually a continuation of a study that was done in 2006, I believe, by the OCPC, right? Is that
Yeah,
right?
OCPC.
And it just was never finalized. So what they're looking, the Traffic Safety Committee is looking for the Board of Selectmen's approval to limit to establish a heavy an exclusion for heavy commercial vehicles on Old Plymouth Street, west of Elm Street, west of Elm Street. It passed unanimously at the Traffic Safety Committee, Chief.
Yes.
Upon a board approval tonight, it goes to the Commonwealth for final approval. So it's a continuation of a study that was done 19 years ago and never finished.
Wow,
Well, the study was finished, it was never, the update was never implemented within town.
got it.
So the Traffic Safety Committee had approved this, subject to our approval, subject to the Commonwealth's acceptance.
What's the weight limit?
There was no weight limit described in the study.
Just a commercial vehicle.
Commercial vehicles, so it's not a commercial plated vehicle, it's a heavy truck equipment. The only weighted measuring device around here was a guy from East Bridgewater, so he couldn't reasonably be on call at the discretion of the police officers, but some police officers could issue citations, was my understanding, warning citations.
For the commercial?
For the commercial vehicles. There's going to be signage posted with Steve in the state. But I don't believe a weight limit was discussed. Diane?
No, there was no weight limit.
Okay.
It was just for deliveries only.
Right.
You could come down.
And that's Diane
Same
Ruxton.
as Furnace Street.
What's that?
I believe it would be the same signage as Furnace Street.
Okay,
Because Furnace Street was on the same study in 2006. It's just that the town never moved forward with the signs
okay.
on Plymouth Street.
And forgive me for my ignorance, but it's not opening Pandora's box where it just says commercial vehicles, like, You know, it has to be a specific, you know, is it ambiguous?
It's usually a weight.
Usually a way, it just makes me nervous, like, this guy's got a work van, you know, and it's technically a commercial vehicle. Does
I'm
that,
not sure.
I mean, did you guys,
There was something that they worded, but I forget how they worded it. I think it, I don't know, I don't think.
I don't want to speak out of turn. I know Deputy Chief is here, but Chief Shaw's was fairly confident that it was buttoned up.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I don't know if Deputy Chief, you have anything to add on that?
The wording that he has is fine.
Yeah, okay.
okay,
I don't have that wording
Sure.
with me right now.
okay.
He was comfortable with it, which was enough, based on the study, the years of, the data that we gathered.
All right, so the Traffic Safety Committee liked it unanimously?
Unanimously, yes.
Our fire chief liked it, our police chief liked it, our highway chief liked it.
Yes.
Does Chris Winowitz like it?
I just had a question.
Sure.
Chris Winowitz, 129 Circuit Street. You said with this implemented, now there can be consequences, that tickets can be written if trucks go that way?
That's
Would
my,
that be included at a later date, Circuit and Laurel Street looked at? Because we've been dealing with that for 7 years. And it's been brought before the town, all the trucks going there.
Yeah, yeah. I know now.
Years ago, they didn't want to do that, but it was something we had asked for. So
I-
just to have consequences, because right now, there's not really any consequences. They just keep putting signs up and more signs.
Yeah. I'm not sure, to be honest, what the answer to that is, Chris.
I don't know if that could be looked at later.
We could take that under advisement and take a look and see if that's a possibility. Circle back with you later if that's okay. Yeah? Yeah, okay. You said, Chris, what were the streets? Circuit and Laurel?
Yeah, Circuit and Laurel.
Yeah. Yeah, we can bring that to the Traffic Study Committee and see what they have. All right, so if that's the case, we can vote to accept it right now? Does that work? All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation for the Traffic Study Committee to exclude heavy commercial vehicles in a heavy commercial vehicle zone on Old Plymouth Street. And do we have the actual area on Old Plymouth?
I don't, the chief not, I don't,
You didn't send it. It was just-
it's Old Plymouth Street west of Elm.
It's from Route 106 to Elm Street.
It's 106 to Elm,
Okay.
that section in there.
I
So,
believe it's west.
It's west, yes, Plymouth Street west of Elm.
Yep.
all right, so from Route 106
To the corner of Elm Street and Old Plymouth.
to the corner of Elm and Old Plymouth. I'll entertain that motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, yeah.
I thought he had said that.
No, I don't have it.
Yep.
I thought he was gonna get the,
I don't have the wording, I know there's a specific wording you use, but
Okay.
you think, Ted, you think there was? But they're not talking about it like a Chevy Silverado 1500.
Yeah, that's what I gotta make sure that it's. All right, guys, we're still having a meeting. Sorry to give you the hook. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. All right.
I know who you were.
All right, guys. Thank you. All right, we're moving down to letter C, which is discussion of approval of a 3-year contract with Regional Old Colony Communications Center. Bob, this is the center that we've been using the whole time here?
Yeah, it's the Regional Dispatch Center.
Yep.
This is a follow-up, it's a new contract, but with some changes, but it goes back to the last contract, so.
Okay. Everybody had a chance to check it out? Oh, everybody okay with it?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, Frank Johnston.
I have a question too.
Frank Johnston,
Yeah.
Street
Yeah.
Finance Committee.
Yes.
is What are the rates that they're proposing for the first year of this new contract?
This year's rate is not.
So we're 20,000?
No.
200,000. 200,000.
Oh, 200, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So the following 2 years, there is rate changes that will go into it. The second year was 205, and then the third year was 210.
It's on page 8.
Okay, and what fiscal year does that start? 27?
So
26?
26.
26.
Okay. I'm not sure we accounted for that in our budget numbers.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Did we?
200 covered it. We actually-
200 covered.
Yeah. So 200 and it's going up to 205 and then 210?
10, so it's a 3-year contract.
Okay. Jumps 10% over 3 years, or 10,000, sorry, over 3 years.
Year 3, we'll be renewing another contract,
Yes.
Yep.
and it'll be a 210 as the starting point.
Just to be clear, 210, 125,
That's correct.
just to be clear.
210, 125.
Yes,
Yeah.
just to be clear.
Yep.
Does that include any technology improvements, like, I know they get, these centers get a lot of money. Like,
We do get grants from that where we do receive money. A couple years back, we received upgrades to the computer systems for all the vehicles in the cars. So yes,
radio improvements?
yes.
Where's your repeater, up on the tower?
Yeah.
So that includes the radios?
No, they do.
No, I thought they were supposed to include radios
No.
in the original contract.
No, the original contract is only about 2 pages long, 3 pages long, and it did not say anything in there about the radios.
So what are we getting
For it, so
for the
The 200?
200,000?
for someone to pick up the phone, do EMD for the fire department if needed, and then dispatch the calls. So I believe before we moved, the dispatch center got moved out, I believe that the budget for the communication center through Halifax was around 150, 175, right around there. But that wasn't including insurance benefits. That was just strictly salaries.
Salaries, right.
And that was, well, 8 years ago.
Yeah, at least.
But the vehicle radios, truck radios, car radios, they're all upgraded through the software with the communication center, or how does that work?
So if there needs to be any updates to the radios for programming or anything along that lines, usually that's up to the department. Sometimes if there is grants out there and they do have extra funding, they will get that back.
The grants come through the communication center. We're not applying for the grants.
It's all through the regional.
Yeah, okay.
They'll have meetings with us and discuss what our needs are for upcoming grants. So the possibility of, new radios, whatever infrastructure we need to sustain radio communications. So a lot of that is involved in that, but it's only if grants come through. So the original funding, like he said, is basically for them to EMD and dispatch us.
Right, yeah, just answering and dispatching.
Just I guess, a point of clarification. I don't know if this is for Deputy Chief or Bob Fennessy. Letter F on page 19. Town of Halifax responsibility in the absence of grant funding. Any reason to be concerned about the grants, where they're coming from, and MBTA compliance?
No, so they're going through the town of Duxbury.
This is all Duxbury?
Yeah.
Okay, powered. So our involvement, regardless of status, has no bearing on that?
Correct.
And it all comes through the 10 cents you pay for on
Just
demo
clarifying, because it is in the contract, just clarifying what that meant.
Yeah, anytime we see grant awarded,
Right.
it sets off.
Because those numbers are larger.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure we understand. Yeah.
All right, all that being said, I'll entertain a motion to sign the agreement,
Approve and sign.
to approve to sign the agreement with Regional Old Colony Communications Center.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimous. Thank you, guys. All right, we're gonna move down to E, which is the discussion and appointment to the Finance Committee of one Mr. Rod Hemingway. So Bob, you wanna tell us what the update is here with this? Thanks, Chief. Thanks, Chief.
See you, Ted.
Yeah, so because this is a joint meeting between the two boards, both boards have to have a posting and agenda. Unfortunately, the Finance Committee didn't get a posting in time, so this will have to be put this off until the next meeting, whenever they're planning on meeting.
And I believe they're looking at possibly Tuesday of next week. Is that what we're landing on, guys? For,
I think that's what you guys, I mean,
we might try to,
Next Tuesday?
next Tuesday,
We have a meeting next Tuesday, yes.
Via Zoom.
via Zoom.
Yeah, that's
So
Correct.
we'll look to
Jim told me earlier.
schedule that maybe around 5:30, if that works for the FinCom.
Yeah, we were set for 6, but I'm sure that we can do 5:30.
5:30 would be great.
I'm speaking a little out of turn, but we can confirm with Jim.
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah, because he was gonna, talk among Katie.
He's the chair, but we know who runs that.
I just
So,
the background.
I'll send an email to Jim and Katie tomorrow.
Yeah, and just-
5:30 works.
Right, so that way you guys can get in and get out and zoom in, zoom out.
Sure. So anyone interested in kind of seeing that discussion, that will be at the Finance Committee meeting on Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Correct?
We hope.
We hope. Fingers crossed. All right, down to F, Beautification Committee. Request for the use of town green for October 4th, 2025 and October 5th, 2025. Has everybody had a chance to look at that application? I'm gonna look over your shoulder because my computer's not working right now.
That was,
So it's a fall cleanup event, townwide cleanup, and it is for, what are the hours? From 9 to 4 on the 4th and 1 to 4 on the 5th. They will need access to inside to be able to use bathrooms on the 5th. Pam, there's nothing else scheduled for the town hall that day or the green?
I did not look, but you know what? If there, I don't think there is.
Okay.
Usually people work together,
Okay,
but I don't think there is.
okay.
But I will look.
I know they just had a preschool cleanup in town that went well, so always big props to our beautification committee. They do a great job, keeping Halifax clean. I'll entertain a motion to approve or is there any other discussion, guys? Or- No? All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the request from the Halifax Beautification Committee for the use of the town green for October 4th, 2025 and October 5th, 2025.
So moved.
second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimous. All right, next up is G, review and vote to sign a side letter agreement between the town and AFSCME Union dated July 18th, 2025 regarding calculation of overtime pay.
So it's not to vote again.
Right.
It's just to discuss and
We'll
let the
discuss
public know.
and let the
that's
public
been-
know. So
Yeah.
we did have a meeting, an executive session to rectify an agreement essentially with a side letter to include, as it stood now, it seemed that our overtime system for our water department was not matching the overtime system that was being used for our building maintenance guys. They're both in the same union, so this side letter agreement basically just cleaned that up, made sure that both of those groups were handled equitably and fairly, and that they're all on the same page going forward. So that is what we did with that side letter agreement. Does that make sense, guys? Did I butcher that completely?
It's a good recap.
All right, good. All right, H, annual reappointment of Halifax Fireworks Committee members. So we have some members here. Let me pull it up. Right here. We have members Pamela Engstrom, Janice Hayward, James Hill. I thought it was Mike. Is his name James?
Well, it's James, that's a school one. That's-
Oh, okay. Susan Hill and Kathleen McLaughlin. Sorry to cause a controversy here.
If he wants
I feel bad. I've been calling him the wrong name the whole time,
I'll
so.
call him Mike, but if he wants to change it, I will.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I think he's gonna be okay.
All right, good. So I've worked with this committee. I'm the liaison to this committee. They do great work. They're incredible fundraisers. They have great motors when it comes to putting on the event and cleaning up after the event, and they truly are unsung heroes in Halifax. So I'm honored that we have such a great group, and it would be my privilege to appoint them with a term through August 31st, 2028. And I'll entertain that motion to appoint Pamela Engstrom, Janice Hayward, James Hill, Susan Hill, and Kathleen McLaughlin.
So moved.
second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes unanimous. All right, now we're going down to election workers, which is I, if you're playing along at home. We're looking to appoint the following election workers with a term through July 27th, 2026. So I will entertain a motion to approve the following election workers for that term: Kathleen Miller, Judith Wall, Arthur Vogt, Robert M. Doherty, Catherine Roach, Janice Hayward, William Russell, Jill McKee, Ann Hodge, Hope McIver, Linda Saviano, Pamela Aducci, Elizabeth McGann, Elizabeth Sierri, and Barbara Jennings Ramsey.
I just want to click, it was Jill McKee, Jill McKee.
What did I say?
I thought he said Jill, but I'll make the motion. So moved, just double checking.
Yeah, and that was Jill McKee, just to...
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that brings us down to Mr. Bob Fennessy and our town administrator report.
Okay,
Here we go.
welcome board. So first, an update on the permanent town administrator search. As you know, Blair Crane was offered a position, went through. We were actually going to negotiate a contract tonight. Yesterday, we received a letter from him saying he's withdrawing his candidacy and is no longer a candidate for the position. So it kind of puts us back to square one. And the board can figure out, what they're going to do with the recruiter. I know he's on vacation and out of the country, but I believe he'll be back in a week or so. So, you can see at that point what you want to do.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. To your point, we can circle back with Bernie and see what next steps are.
Yep.
And see what that process looks like. When he, as you say, out of the country, when he gets back, we'll circle back with Bernie and see what our next step should be.
So I also want to make a mention that he didn't give a reason why he was leaving or withdrawing.
Okay.
But he did want to thank the search committee and the Board of Selectmen for the time and effort that you guys put involved in this.
Yeah, we get it. I will say Bernie did give you guys kudos. Yeah, Jim is on that screening committee. That it was a very thorough screening, that it was, a good group of people. So this one didn't work out. We'll take another swing.
And the next thing is two bids have gone live that we have here.
Yeah.
One is a department lease of space on the water tower for telecommunication cellular units, additional cellular units. The RFP also for the design and construction of the new senior center is live. And that went out. That took a lot of work to get that put together with a lot of people. And that hopefully September 29th is the opening of the bids for that.
Excellent.
And that's for the design and construction.
It's exciting.
So it's exciting.
Yeah, it's absolutely exciting. I know you're relatively new to here, but it's been decades that this town's been searching for a true worthy council on aging building. So the fact that we're actually entertaining bids to finally start putting one together is very exciting.
Yep.
So I'm very happy.
And the money's there, so
Yep.
hopefully it's enough money there.
Yeah, well, that's it. We don't want to wait too long because
things go up.
costs go up.
Yeah,
So,
so.
yep.
On Monday evening, the Board of Selectmen, this is more for the people out there, Board of Selectmen and Halifax Elementary School Committee held a joint meeting to fill a vacancy on the school committee. After both boards questioned the two excellent candidates, they entered into a discussion, and there was a unanimous decision to appoint Jody Goyette to the committee. Her term will expire at the next annual meeting or upon a person being qualified by an election. So the election occurs before that.
And I agree, they were both, the board echoes that they were both great candidates. That was, knock on wood, we've had some great luck. We've had some high-profile positions be open. We've had a planning board position, school committee, FinCom, and the candidates we're getting are terrific. So kudos to the public for stepping up.
We hope that follows for the town administrator.
Yeah, that's it.
So, okay. So some staff news. You recall that Alana Snow started here earlier this month in the assessor's office, and she quickly added a dose of cheer and happiness to the town hall. Those who worked with her, and unfortunately I haven't, but those who worked with her in her early employment here all have said to me that she came on and it's like she didn't miss a
never
beat.
left. Yeah. Yeah.
And she's a great worker and a very positive influence in the building. I just want you to know that
She's great.
I've noticed that. And you're lucky, we're lucky to have her here. Scott Materna will be looking to fill a part-time vacancy and will post the opening upon the board's approval. Now, this is kind of a question of the board because it was a full-time position and the board reduced it to a 20-hour-a-week position.
right.
So does he have to, he wants to know whether he has to come before the board again to fill the slot, where it was just a reduction of the hours. So it's actually a reduction saving money,
Right.
not costing the town
He's
money.
looking to post a full-time
A
position?
part-time,
Part-time?
20-hour custodian.
We were in a hiring,
Filling the full-time custodian that left once the hours were cut down.
we were in, I'm trying to remember what the motion was. We set a hiring freeze so that any new position
Had to come before
had to
us.
come
So,
before us.
Is it a new position or is it a current position?
Right, that's the thing. Is it the creation of a new position, or is it just filling a current?
I would say it's more filling a current position.
Yeah, and that's what we think.
Yeah.
I would say filling a
Okay.
current position.
So we'll go forward, because he wants to get somebody
At
on
20
board.
hours.
At 20 hours.
Yeah.
Actually, 19.5.
Yeah.
To be specific.
Well, this is a great
You
time.
know why.
It's a great time to do work on buildings, the
Yeah,
weather's
yeah,
starting to change,
yeah,
so
yeah.
let's get it out there.
Is that everyone else's opinion, that it's a current position? I would,
I think
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that's, in-house, that's our opinion.
Okay.
So, okay. In the selectman's office, Irma Vassal, is that how you pronounce her last name?
Yep.
She's leaving this week after nearly 12 years of service to the town. She's been a wonderful part of Town Hall, and I feel fortunate to have worked with her since July 9th. A short time, but we all wish her well in her retirement.
Indeed.
So,
Yeah, Irma's great.
along with installing a new website for the town, Caesar and IT has been working on upgrading the town computers to Windows 11. To the existing operating system, Windows 10 is reaching an end of support in October of this year. So after that, there'll be no more security updates available for it. So we're moving over to 11. Fortunately, all of our computers are compatible with the newest Microsoft operating system, and this, as of today, 80% of our computers have already been turned
Oh,
over
great.
to
We're getting
Windows
there.
11. So the other 20% should be done in a week or two, and there was no increased cost to the town
Hey,
for any of this.
all right.
So that was
I'd
good.
like to hear that.
And finally, just on a personal note, I'll be on vacation for 2 weeks. This was planned going back to COVID, prior to COVID, so it's finally here, and we're kind of in shock going out of the country, so, but I'll give Pam, we'll have my contact, and I'll give the chair my contact number
Great.
when I'm out. So
Have a
if
great
anything comes
time.
up, feel free to not call me.
Can I get that in writing? Well, I hope
No,
you have a
but
great
thank you.
vacation.
Thank you.
And again, to echo the board sentiments, it's great. Our town administrator didn't work out here, but I don't want to speak for the whole board, but I don't feel that crush of, oh no, because we do have you here, to steady our ship,
Yep,
so to
thank you.
speak. So, great to have you here. We'll get things sorted out.
And Pam, I gotta give
Yeah,
a
no,
shout out to
Pam is
Pam.
always-
She,
Pam's the great and powerful Oz.
That's
She's the one
right.
that hides behind the curtain.
Pam, how many times I walk into your office? She's like,
Yeah.
and what did you do to me today?
Yeah, I know, that's because all those agendas being thrown, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
So thank you, Pam, for all you do too.
Yeah. Great.
And that's it.
Great stuff.
what I'm supposed to do.
Anything else to come before the board? Anything the board have before we adjourn?
Mike?
Oh, Mike, yeah. Hey, Mike.
Hi.
How are you?
First of all, congratulations, Selectman Smith, Bill
Thank you.
Smith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your election. I hope you knew what you were doing. Your wife and family are all behind you.
Way behind him.
It'll be a fun ride.
Yeah.
I'm sure. The thing, reason why I came up here, and I'm not on the agenda,
Yeah.
but I had mentioned to Pam about the use of the town vehicles. So I'd like to be able to get on that.
Okay, yeah, we can add it. I mean, since it's, like you say, since it's not on the agenda tonight, we really can't kind of go over it and debate it tonight. But we will absolutely, Mike, put you on the agenda for the next meeting if that's what you want to do.
That'd be great.
Yeah, sure thing.
All right?
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That adjourns us at 7:05 this evening. Thank you all for coming.